isn't your average story. It's not like, oh, well, why can't someone just be transgendered? No, it's why. The bigger question is, why are all of the elites worldwide, all of the publications, the people with power colluding to gaslight the public about Brigitte? Why did they want to put her as the First Lady of France? What did that move represent to them symbolically, spiritually? These are the sorts of questions that you're going to start asking as we begin to unpack this series. And you're going to start to realize that the symbolism matters. The icons that these people use matters, right? It's going to take us back to Egypt. It's going to take us back to King Solomon, Midas, the things that I have been looking up and really asking myself questions about. And so I'm telling you guys, your minds are going to be completely blown as we jump into Epstein, as we connect the dots with Aleister Crowley and Brigitte, and we start refreshing your mind. If you are a person that is not active at church and you maybe haven't cracked open a Bible in a while, you're going to get interested, very interested in theology, Greek mythology, Egyptian, all of it. Anyways, the Jeffrey Epstein story, I can tell you on its face, is a threat to this establishment. It is the crux of a lot of things that are happening today in the modern world. And they really, really, really desperately need us to stop speaking about that because it would represent an undoing. And that's exactly why we're not going to stop speaking about the Epstein case, because I think that we should be the authors of that undoing. And I will leave it at that before I tell you something else that's quite interesting pertaining to Trump. As we are today, or maybe 2 days ago rather, it was the anniversary of Trump assassination attempt against Donald Trump. The world watched this. Curiously, CNN cameras were there. They didn't normally follow him, but they wanted to make sure everybody saw this thing that was happening on stage. Why is that? Where are we at in that investigation? Let's talk about that. But first, and maybe appropriately, I'm going to speak about Goldco. Over the past 4 years, we've all seen some tough times. We've had skyrocketing inflation, surging national debt, market volatility, never-ending wars, bank failures, and our financial systems can't be trusted. That's why Americans are turning to gold. Gold is real, it's tangible, and it's held value for thousands of years. Unlike the stock market or currency, gold doesn't vanish when politicians make bad decisions, which, let's be honest, is happening a lot these days. Goldco are the experts that I trust to help you protect your retirement with precious metals. Whether you're worried about inflation, government spending, or just want peace of mind, Goldco can make that easy. Here's what you have to do. It's very easy. Go to CandaceLikesGold.com to get your free 2025 gold and silver kit, and then you'll learn about how you can get up to 10% in free silver. So don't wait for the next crisis. Protect your future today by going to CandaceLikesGold.com. Again, CandaceLikesGold.com. Also, you're going to like the name of this beef jerky. It's called For the Boys Beef Jerky. Yeah, I'm the one selling it to you. For the Boys Beef Jerky. You know, I don't waste time on terrible products. Neither does the Boys Beef Jerky. This is the real premium jerky made from slow smoked briskets. It's not mystery meat. There's no fillers, no fake ingredients, just bold, high protein beef that actually tastes like the meat should. Now, For the Boys is a small batch. For the Boys is a very small batch of a family run brand. Their carne asada flavor is my absolute favorite. It's packed with bold, zesty flavor that hits every time. So whether I'm on the go at the studio or need a clean protein packed snack that keeps up with my day, they've got wild flavors that I can choose from, like atomic, garlic pepper, and orange teriyaki too, but carne asada is definitely the favorite for me and my team. And right now, if you head to fortheboysbeefjerky.com, you'll get free shipping and a free gift with your order, but only for a limited time. Visit fortheboysbeefjerky.com. No nonsense, no shortcuts, just beef done right. Again, that's fortheboysbeefjerky.com. I think it's for the girls too, but what do I know? All right, you guys. So this is interesting. We are at the 1 year anniversary of what should have been, if it weren't for, it seemed like a divine intervention, the assassination of Donald Trump. And there were a lot of questions that we had. The conspiracy theorists, very strange that there was such a higher media presence that day. But you go back and they say, oh, well, it's because they thought that he was going to announce his who he would be running with for VP. So that's why everyone was front and center and ready to capture this moment. But more curious than what happened on that day is the fact that we still have no answers, okay? President Trump was almost assassinated on a stage, and we know at that time virtually nothing about the family that raised him. Wouldn't you think that we would be learning obsessively every element of this story. Instead, it kind of feels like it was instantly memory hold. And again, there were a lot of interesting questions. And so Laura Trump, who's married to Eric Trump, Donald's son, she sat down with Benny Johnson and he started asking some of these questions to her about Matthew Thomas Crooks. And here is what Laura Trump had to say about Trump's perspective on why he's sort of let that story go. Take a listen.
We know absolutely nothing. We've never seen any of the, listen, every person has cell phone records. Every person has email records. We've seen nothing. Have you, given the fact that you are a direct member of the family, has anyone briefed you on who Matthew Thomas Crooks was, what his motivations were, who he was communicating with that day? Because we see photos taken by Secret Service of him on the phone. He's calling someone, Laura. Do we know who he called?
I do not have any of that information. And I think it's interesting,
here's the photo, by the way.
Knowing my father-in-law for as long as I have, 17 years now or so, the way he operates, as far as I understand him, is that whenever there's a situation like this, that is very challenging to go through, that's obviously traumatic, I think he kind of boxes it up and puts it away, and he doesn't want to think about it. And you've kind of seen him, Benny, in a lot of these interviews where people are asking him specifically about, July 13th from last year. He says, I try not to think about it. He said in the interview with me that, you are putting your life at risk if you're a bull rider. 1/10 of 1% of bull riders are killed. 1% of 1% of race car drivers are killed. 5% of presidents are killed. And so he knows the risks, and he knows that this was a life-altering moment, a moment where things could have taken a turn for the worse. But I think he kind of boxes it up and puts it away. And that's how he's able to focus on taking this country back and making sure that we're going in the right direction and fixing all the wrongs that happened over the past 4 years, et cetera. He can't focus on this. And so he told me he was satisfied with the information that he received. But in a lot of ways, I almost think he doesn't even want to talk about it. Maybe he doesn't want to know more about it because it's a way that he personally processes things and deals with things. So no, none of us in the family have been briefed on it. I don't know. I don't have any more information on, obviously, the individual who tried to assassinate him. There is one person who is still alive who was attempting to kill him. And I think we're going to see that man in court in September, I believe, down in Florida. So maybe we can get some info from that guy. Unfortunately, Crooks, we're not going to get a whole lot out of him.
So I have a lot of follow-up questions, if I may. So first and foremost, I do want to say this. I like Laura Trump. She's actually really lovely. She's very hardworking, and she is a very good person. I do not accept the words and the sentences that are coming out of her mouth, and I'm going to tell you why. If somebody tried to kill your father, somebody tried to kill your loved one, somebody tried to kill your husband, you would stop at virtually nothing to figure out everything that you could about that individual. Now, she's saying Trump is shutting that down. That's certainly believable. I'm not here suggesting that Trump should be like, let's just marinate in that and keep talking about it and talk about the trauma of having survived that. But there is a broader consideration here, which is he's president of the United States and somebody tried to stop that from happening. So his emotional scars are not really my business. But the practical scars on the nation, like the practicality of the discussions that we should be having about our security as a nation, that somebody got through and tried to murder him on live TV, that's bigger than him. That's bigger than any one president. It's just like saying, why is it still relevant who killed JFK? It's forever relevant who shot and killed JFK, and it is therefore just as relevant that someone attempted to kill Trump, and we don't have any answers. I mean, Benny asks a very important question there. We know he was on the phone leading up to the moment. Why do you think the public has not been informed who exactly Matt was on the phone with? I mean, Matthew Crooks was on the phone with. Would that not be relevant information, a piece of the puzzle as he climbed and just was able to climb onto a roof and shoot at President Trump, who was the last person he was speaking to? If it was not irrelevant, if he just called his mom, they would have told us that. But they're withholding that information and instead telling us to just move along. What are the implications? I'll tell you who has the wrong read on the implications. Laura Loomer said, well, it's obviously Iran. The state said that it was Iran. Let me tell you something right now. If it was Iran, they would have publicized those phone calls and publicized that fact when they made the decision to go bomb Fordow and give B-6 bombers to support Israel with that initiative, because that's what it was about, protecting Israel. They would have publicized that. Bibi Netanyahu would have said it. Just so you know, we know for a fact that Matthew Crooks was working with Iran. And he would look ridiculous if he said that. He would look like he was lying, but he lies so often. He often does look ridiculous. So why not add that to the pile? They did not do that. So this is not the Middle East. This is not Iran. Who was he on the phone with? Trump's hesitation to discuss that is not unlike Trump's hesitation to discuss Jeffrey Epstein. And if you actually look back, it seems like that area, his lack of comfort in discussing that, it could all be related. And I truly asked my team in sincerity, I asked Mark, I said, Mark, but why won't Trump do this? Like, actually give me a reason, because I can't comprehend Trump right now. I want to understand why he would not release the Epstein files, why he would not tell us who Matthew Crooks was on the phone with. What is the answer, the practical answer for that? And Mark actually has something that I think is correct. He said that it is likely that he has come to a place where thinking that the public cannot handle the truth, that we can't handle it, that it would undo everything. Because what would you do? What would you actually do? And I'm leaving this as an open-ended question. If Trump got on stage and was like, actually, the entire world is a stage, nothing is real, your freedoms aren't real, you've been enslaved by lies, there's a global government that's running everything, we control the media, we control the textbooks, and you're essentially just a patient in a very long-running MK Ultra experiment. Oh, and also the elites worship Satan. And yeah, they've been in control of human trafficking. What would you do? Like, literally, what would you do the next minute if he got on air and said all of that? If any president got on air and said all of that? It's a question. I'm going to leave it at that. It is a question. And it's happening naturally, whether he says it or not. We recognize something has gone awry in every regards. We realize that these people are not making us healthier, whether it's with vaccines. It's for your health. The government wants to help. No, the government does not want to help. No, Bill Gates is not a good guy. No, if you are signed up to A Shot in the Dark, my series on the history of vaccines, it's terrifying when we get into birth control. We start talking about Bill Gates and his initiative in Africa. I know a lot of people from Africa watch this show. My goodness, what they were trying to tell the public. Hey, yeah, it's making people infertile. That's like a thing. That they were experimenting on people that were in insane asylums, women that were in insane asylums, because they were maybe awake to some of the evil that was happening at that time. I mean, it is dark. It is really dark what's been going on. And only the truth, truly, not to sound cheesy, but it is really only the truth that is going to free us from what's happening, which is why I love this next story. Michelle Pfeiffer, just out of nowhere, from the top ropes, just came and slammed Bill Gates. It's amazing. And she made us aware of something that I wasn't aware of. So she launches this attack on him and says that he is going to contaminate America's food supply. So I had not heard about this at all. She took to Instagram on Thursday to essentially express to people that she was concerned because the FDA had just approved a peel. Now, I'll tell you what a peel is. And I'm just showing you her Instagram post. It says a peel, an edible plant-based coating that is designed to essentially prolong the shelf life of fresh fruits and vegetables. It was just approved. And now, even if you go and you buy organic produce, it's fine if it has a coating of a peel on it. Do you trust Bill Gates? And so Bill Gates, by the way, they came out and said, we have nothing to do with the peel. Yeah, they do. They were the founding money behind the company. They initially, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation gave a $100,000 grant in 2012 to the entrepreneur James Rogers to build up this product. What is a quote unquote Microsoft exec, Bill Gates, doing concerned about vaccines? Okay, he is obsessed with getting chemicals into our bodies. Okay, that is the reality of who Bill Gates is. And it seems like he will stop at nothing. Okay, Bill Gates gives me the creeps. Can't wait to get to him and speak about him and Epstein when we go through our series. People